Tune in for Weekend Talk That Matters, only on KFNX.
Get ready to get up close and personal with Love and Life, the show that helps you experience real love and discover the key to happiness in your life.
I'm on the top of the world, looking down on creation, and the only explanation I can find is the love that I've found ever since you've been around. Your love's put me at the top of the world.
And welcome to Love and Life. We're glad you're here. I'm Garvin Deshazer, and I'm with you every Sunday at 4 o'clock Arizona time on Independent Talk, 1100 KFNX. I want to start today's program with a final reminder about the Real Love Workshop at the Phoenix Airport Marriott this coming Saturday and Sunday, January 25th and 26th. Greg Baer, author of Real Love, will be leading this life-changing event. If you want to experience genuine happiness in your life, if you're ready to fundamentally change the quality of your relationships, then this is what you've been waiting for. For more information on this special event or to register now, go to www.reallove.com. I'll be there, and many other Real Love coaches will be as well. So if you want to learn how real love can change your life, please don't miss this extraordinary opportunity. And please don't wait to register, because the workshop starts at 9 a.m. this Saturday, so this is pretty much your last chance. Go to www.reallove.com to reserve your seat today. You know, as I've worked with hundreds of students of Real Love over the past 7 years, I've been struck by one thing that's amazingly consistent. Every one of them is carrying within themselves some core wound or wounds, usually from early childhood, that has not yet been healed. This is something that I discussed with Greg Baer on our show a couple of weeks ago. We talked about this vicious cycle of unworthiness, leading to feelings of being alone, leading to feelings of more unworthiness, and how it becomes the paradigm that people experience in their lives. Based on the experience that I've had, and as well as careful observation of the people all around me in my daily life, and upon the extensive reading I've done and the conversations I've had with people like Dr. Baer, I've come to believe that this is true for the vast majority of humanity. Now, I'm not saying that people aren't working on their core wounds. Many certainly are. And there are a great many approaches and tools that have varying degrees of effectiveness. I will say that, in my experience, the most powerful tool I have found is Real Love, which is why I've dedicated my life to the practice of Real Love principles. But you know, even with Real Love, breaking patterns of beliefs and behaviors that have existed at a subconscious level for most of a lifetime can take time. Often people come to Real Love as a result of some recent trauma in their lives, such as a divorce or the death of someone close to them or some other tragic event. They're sometimes in intense emotional pain, and they're understandably eager to move past that pain. So as a Real Love coach, I began to wonder what could be done to speed up the process. It occurred to me that combining the principles and practices of Real Love with some other methods designed to directly address the subconscious might help some of my coaching clients achieve results more quickly and perhaps with greater lasting effect. That led me to a conversation with my guests today, Kyra and Todd Schaefer. Kyra and Todd are professional hypnotherapists and are the owners of Arizona Hypnotherapy Clinic in North Phoenix. Todd and Kyra, welcome to Love and Life. I'm so glad you guys are here.
Thank you.
Thank you, Garvin.
If you'd like to join the conversation, the number to call is 602-277-KFNX. That's 602-277-5369. Or if you're outside the Phoenix area, you can call toll-free on 1-866-536-1100. Kyra, Todd, I know some people think that hypnotism is this sort of deep, dark, mysterious thing. What do you have to say to those people? Why is that true, or is it not true? And if so, why not?
Actually, a lot of those dark and mysterious beliefs are based on myth and hearsay and just the overall fear of being controlled. Once we explain to a client what hypnosis actually is and what it does, that usually tends to clear up all their questions, and they see it instead as a powerful tool to help them achieve lasting change. So usually when we get a chance to talk to them, those myths kind of fly out the window because they know it's not what they feared it was, or what they've seen in movies or that kind of thing.
Right. Well, or some of the comedy routines or whatever. I think everybody is understandably a little concerned that somebody's going to make them walk around clucking like a chicken or something of that nature without their approval.
Yeah, and what I usually do whenever I'm an instructor now, but when I was seeing clients one-on-one, and they came in with that kind of question, I would say to them, well, let's go ahead and get it out of the way. Go ahead and cluck like a chicken, and then let's see if you can do it. And then they'll go, because they do it every time. And I say, well, you did that so fantastic, and it looks like I made you do it, so I think we've cleared that up. Now let's get down to work.
Yeah, exactly. So it really is all about the misperceptions are based in ignorance of the reality. So I think there's probably an equal number of people that are coming from the place of, this stuff's bogus, it's not going to do any good, or you can't hypnotize me, or So how do you speak to people that doubt that it even works?
The really simplest way to do it is just to perform suggestibility tests on them, which is what we do during any intake assessment, which all intake assessments are free 30-minute appointments. And we just test them out for hypnotic approach during those intake assessments. And we just do a couple suggestibility tests, and they get to see the pendulum move, even though on its own, so to speak, and the finger test and different things, and they just get to see, oh my gosh, I can't believe this pendulum is moving by itself, and are you doing that? And I'm like, no, I'm not doing it. They're just learning right then and there that it's their subconscious is doing it.
Yeah, and this is really about getting clear about how powerful the subconscious mind is. Even when our conscious mind is trying to tell it something different, the subconscious is going to operate on the basis of its fundamental paradigm and its core set of commands, if you will, right?
That's right. So
I know, I'm just kind of going a little bit further into this because I know there's a lot of skepticism. Historically, and even now, hypnotherapy, hypnosis is used for things like dental work, or it has been even on occasion used in the absence of anesthesia for major surgeries or amputations or things of that nature, right?
Yeah. And I would say, whenever I'm teaching my students how to hypnotize people, usually I say, I would stay away from the anesthetizing part of going
at least initially, right?
Right. But I will say it is really incredibly powerful for hypnobirthing and that kind of thing. So helping people to relax during types of traumatic situations, even emergency hypnosis that people can immediately put themselves into an altered state of consciousness so that they can handle whatever situation is happening for them. So, there's a lot of teaching that goes along with this. It's not just, okay, come to me, I'm going to hypnotize you, you're going to start doing something. It's more of a, let's coach you through whatever type of situation that you have going on, which we do use real love principles in that are incredibly powerful and amazingly transformative. And it really enhances both sides. It enhances the hypnosis and it enhances the real love,
Yeah,
so,
exactly.
Yeah. So usually I tell people that, there has been some stuff in the media and different things along the way, but really ultimately, if it'll work for you, I think that it's probably a good thing to do,
Mm-hmm. It's some of the more extreme cases of it, the surgical stuff and so forth, is not something that people are. I guess it falls under the category of don't try this at home.
Yeah, exactly.
Wait, this is to be done by professionals that are highly trained and experienced in this process. But I know you guys have had a lot of success in working with people in your clinic, and we're going to be talking more about that after the break. My guests today are Kyra and Todd Schaefer, owners of the Arizona Hypnotherapy Clinic. When we come back from the break, you'll learn how you may be able to use hypnosis in conjunction with real love to heal your core wounds and transform your life. You're listening to Love and Life on Independent Talk, 1100 KFNX.
Independent Talk, 1100 KFNX.
And welcome back to Love and Life. We're talking today with Kyra and Todd Schaefer, who are professional hypnotherapists as well as students of real love. The number to call is 602-277-5369, or long distance, call toll-free on 1-866-536-1100. So, Todd, Kyra, tell us a little bit about some of the common myths and misunderstandings about hypnosis.
We've heard that people think that it can control you or change your personality, and neither of which is true. That it's a magic pill, which it's definitely not a magic pill. It's just therapy like any other therapy. Hypnosis is statistically it's more effective than most other types of cognitive therapies. And since we combine hypnotherapy with life coaching and doing homework exercises, even weekly coaching calls that I do every Wednesday, we offer clients an unprecedented value, which helps them to reach their goals that much more quickly.
Okay, so I think people maybe are afraid. What you're saying, they're afraid that they can be forced to do something that is not in alignment with their value system or with their core beliefs. But what we're talking about here is actually using hypnosis as a way of helping to shift some of the maybe unseen beliefs that they've been holding on to. And this kind of leads into this discussion of how it fits with real love. As I've seen hypnotherapy used with real love, as I've used it with some of my own clients, by the way, I should say that I'm a graduate of the Arizona Hypnotherapy Institute, and so I've been certified by Kyra and have used this very effectively with some of my clients. The thing that shows up is that a lot of what keeps people trapped in their old patterns is stuff that they don't even understand. They don't even realize. I think in many cases, if not most cases, it's this sense of unworthiness, this belief that somehow that they got when they were a child, that somehow if the love that they need is being withheld from them, it must mean that it's their fault and that somehow they're flawed, they're unworthy, they don't deserve it, and they carry that paradigm forward into their lives, and they, without realizing it, that paradigm, operating at the powerful subconscious level, is what sabotages the relationships in their lives, sabotages the very things that they, on a conscious level, want to achieve in order to have happiness in their lives. And it's this dichotomy between what we think we want and what our subconscious believes and is programmed to manifest that really, I guess, caused me to be kind of excited about the potential synergy between real love principles and hypnotherapy, because it's all about being able to use a tool that's designed to work directly with the subconscious to challenge those beliefs that are really based in fundamental lies and give people the opportunity to reprogram.
Yeah.
So, and maybe tell us a little bit about some of your experience with, I know you guys have had, almost 2,000 clients that you've helped change their lives and made fundamental transformations for them. Tell me a little bit about some things that stand. I know there's confidentiality and those kinds of things. So, but maybe some kind of generic examples that you can speak to.
We've had a lot of people work on a lot of different things with us, and I think where we excel the most is doing the change work that real love aims to do as well. There really is a ton of overlap between hypnotherapy and real love, like you were saying. And hypnotherapy is not a magic pill. It's therapy. So, I think the difference between the clinical end of therapy, hypnotherapy, versus, say, the stage hypnosis end is, are we going for permanency, versus a suggestion that's going to wear off after a while versus something that's actually going to change you. And that's why we call it change work as well. So, like, real love is definitely that. It's looking for the belief patterns that are that have stopped us from achieving greater self-love and that kinds of stuff. And I've been in real love for over a year, and it's been a challenge and a lot of triumph as well. So, hypnotherapy and real love are going to have a lot of those overlaps. And since we aim to do that emotional change work that really grabs core programming at the root and pulls the roots of things out, people change, and the more emotionally related issues they have, in terms of wanting to heal childhood things or wanting to uproot anxiety or whatever it is that really they want to do shifting around and get some permanency with. There are usually a myriad and a variety of beliefs that are associated with those things, false beliefs that tell them I'm not worthy, I'm not lovable, and that's really all it boils down to anyway. But since we do target it with sort of a real love base to those types of things, whether we call it real love or not, sometimes we do. Those people do tend to shift. So the more emotional the work, the more results people tend to get, as opposed to, well, let's just stop smoking. Oh, that's not really very emotional, but there can be some emotional ties to it,
Right.
But Kyra and I both really love to excel helping people shift with the emotional beliefs and the false beliefs, and through the coaching and through hypnotherapy, people tend to get great results, and I think that's why we've been doing as well as we have been.
Yeah.
We love doing that kind of work as well.
Yeah, exactly, and that shows. I mean, I've read a lot of the testimonials on your website, and just over and over and over again, people are talking about the lasting change that they've achieved in their lives. It's very exciting stuff, and it's gratifying as a real love coach. It's gratifying to see that people are experiencing that. I mean, this is kind of it's my belief that we're called to be agents of love in the world. That's right. And there's a lot of different tools that we can use, and some people are really proficient at one set of tools and some at others, but it's about helping people create the results in their lives. I know that one of the things that I've observed is that even as powerful as real love is, there's a certain element of volition that has to be involved for somebody to feel love. Greg describes it really well. He talks about the fact that in order to receive the love that may be offered to you by people who have it to give, there comes this point where you have to trust. You have to take a step of faith that you are lovable, that someone can love you. And I know with clients of my own, since you taught me about hypnotism, I have found that sometimes just going in and doing the work at that subconscious level, obviously with their permission, obviously with their awareness,
of course,
but going in and doing that work helps break that old paradigm and gives them the ability to trust. That's pretty powerful stuff.
Yeah.
When you see that happen, it's like suddenly somebody that has wanted to change consciously and has not been able to for maybe months or years gets that breakthrough, and then amazing things happen very quickly.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely, that's really a part of our why. I mean, we do this work, and in many cases we have given away more of our time than we probably charged for, and it's a labor of love, and we truly genuinely care for people, and we really, really want to see massive change in this world.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, I mean, when I incorporated real love not only in seeing people individually, but in my trainings and in my conferences and stuff like that, I mean, it's a different conversation. You know, it's not, I'm trying to fix you. It's, I'm so excited. You know, I'm so excited to see what you're getting ready to do next. And I'm going to hold your hand, you know, and I'm going to stand beside you, and I'm going to watch you claw up that mountaintop, you know, but you will get there, you know, and I'm going to be applauding you the entire way, and I'm going to be kicking your butt the entire way, but you are getting to the top of that mountain. And so it's so fun and gratifying when we see that. You know, we see that, and we see that really, really regularly, and it's such a powerful blessing. I mean, you know, sometimes I'm in tears, you know, on a daily basis, you know, because of how amazing, you know, the people are that have come into our life that say, yes, you know, I want this change. I want this to be something that I incorporate completely into my life.
That is very cool. Well, after the news, we're going to be hearing a little bit more about how we met, how we got into this, and about the very specific process of healing core wounds using hypnotherapy and real love together. For more information on real love, please check out our website at www.loveinliferadio.com. You're listening to Love and Life on Independent Talk, 1100 KFNX.
Independent Talk, 1100 KFNX.
Welcome back to Love and Life. I'm Garvin Deshazer, and my guests today are Kyra and Todd Schaefer, owners of the Arizona Hypnotherapy Clinic. We're talking about the synergy of using real love with hypnotherapy to heal core wounds and change lifelong patterns of behavior. You can join the conversation right now by calling 602-277-5369. You know, we were talking over the break just for a moment about the fact that it's kind of interesting how we met. We met at a real love group, and I didn't realize that you guys were in the profession that you're in for quite a while, and then just had a conversation about it. And it was clear that you guys were looking for a set of tools that to go deeper with people, to give them some kind of a foundational anchor, and I was looking for a set of tools to help go deeper with the principles of real love. So it was kind of a, I guess, meant to be kind of connection, wasn't it?
Synergistic, yeah.
Yeah. So
actually, we went for us. You know, we went to real love for us.
Yeah.
We weren't experiencing as much love in our life that we felt like we deserve. I mean, it's kind of like you don't know you're sick until, you know, you're well, and you're like, oh, I've really felt bad for, 30 years. And when we did that, it was a massive transformation in our relationship and on our heart and our home and everything.
Some of the things that you master along the way, different mindsets or different therapies, you encounter different things as you go, and maybe you practice them for a while, but real love isn't the kind of thing that you master in a month. You know, It's the kind of thing that you just start discovering what needs to be healed in that amount of time. I mean, sometimes we don't even understand how much pain we're in until months into it, doing it, practicing it regularly, because there's just layers upon layers of getting and protecting behaviors and that kind of stuff. And that was the case for me. So, I mean, when I really got into it, I thought I was going to master it right away, and kind of like a mental ego thing. And then once I realized I got more than I bargained for, I dug in more and said, wow, this can really be a transformational tool for my life, because really you can only help people to the extent that you're healed yourself.
Yeah, exactly. And you guys were already using the powerful subconscious and consciousness tools, but this gave you a deeper toolbox. And and like you say, you got to apply it in your own life in order to be authentic in the process.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So it's congratulations on the growth and the learning and the way that you've embraced this. And I think you guys are I'm excited about the changes that you're not only making in your own life, but the way that that's translating into the lives of your clients, and the ability that you have to help them make real transformative changes as well. So, very cool.
I remember one of the first times that I really kind of used it. It was a young girl that was coming to see me, and she had been abandoned and so on. And she came over, and I said, you know what? Why don't you just sit in my lap for a minute? Why don't you just sit in my lap? I mean, she's a grown kid, but still, it's like, just sit in my lap. And all of a sudden, she just poured down tears, crying, like all of that pain that she'd been having that stiff upper lip about. She decided to release it. And it was a really powerful moment for me and for her guardian that was with her. So, yeah, it's really amazing work. And when I went in the first time I met you and walked in the door of a Real Love meeting, I came in, I sat down, and I felt so much love and support in the room that I just immediately started crying. And I started feeling, not because I was feeling the love necessarily, but I was feeling all the pain that I had been holding on to and suppressing for so long. And when I was able to express it, immediately, I had the love and support and people wanting to be near me, to hold me during that moment. It was really powerful.
Yeah. And I should say, for the benefit of our listeners, we keep talking about the pain and the wounds and those sorts of things, and this is not, it almost may sound like, oh, I got to avoid that because I don't want to go there. The reality is, it's out of those layers of pain that we're holding on to. As we find the release of those, as we heal those, that's where growth happens in our lives. In fact, real growth can't happen in a lasting way until we address some of those issues. We will keep bumping up against barriers there. And so being able to use these tools and use the relationships and use the community to do our healing work it's not like there's healing and then there's growth. Healing is growth, and growth is healing in this process. And everything that you want in your life, the highest levels of love and happiness and peace and tranquility that you could possibly imagine experiencing in life, are available through the use of these tools and these principles.
Yep.
So maybe you could walk us through a little bit. If someone came into your clinic and said, okay, I heard you guys on the radio, or I was, have been driving by here for a while, or somebody told me about it, and I'm ready for some changes in my life. What would that look like? How, can you walk us through the process of what might happen there?
It's really simple. First, they just call in and make an appointment for a free 30-minute intake assessment. They come in, they talk with the hypnotherapist, they get to know their hypnotherapist. We will ask them a series of questions that are phrased in such a way that they pull out the truth of the matter, and they get them to answer just truthfully on what it is they're wanting to work on, and what's that change going to look like once they get there, that kind of stuff. And those types of questions, not only are they giving us answers, it's also their subconscious telling us what its solution is going to look like when it gets there. So that way they can identify it once they have done the healing work and the change. So that's kind of the nature of the questions. We do a couple of suggestibility tests so we can determine hypnotic approach for that person, because everybody's hypnotizable. It's just a matter of what approach to use. And then we explain how we do hypnosis, like I said initially in this discussion, because it might be different from what they may have had preconceived thoughts about. And it's really simple. They're awake and aware the whole time. They hear everything. They just feel a little bit more relaxed, and they either tune me out if I'm giving them a task to do, or they just relax and chill out. It's lazy man's therapy. It's pretty simple. And by that time, they're pretty comfortable with the process and they know what to expect. And if they've had a coupon, a lot of times we give out a $19 coupon for a free 30-minute intake and an hour session. So if we do an hour session and they come back for their second appointment after that 30-minute intake, that hour session is going to be 10 to 20 minutes of life coaching and or homework follow-up if we've given them some paper homework. Then usually 25 to 35 minutes hypnosis after that. And then after they come out of hypnosis, we'll ask them questions to measure how well they've done in hypnosis, and that'll determine whether or not we think it's an effective form of therapy for them. And then if they feel like if it's something they want to do, we present some treatment options for them based on the issue they're wanting to work on.
Okay.
And then after that, it's up to them. There's no pressure at all. It's just they get to choose if they want to move forward or not. It's pretty simple.
One of the things that I found interesting was that you were sharing with me earlier that there's a lot of people who may come in thinking, okay, well, I want to deal with this issue or deal with that issue, but they'll take a package, and as they go forward in it, they actually learn that there's deeper issues that they want to work on, and they'll extend their treatment options with you sometimes 2, 3, or more times, so that they are doing the work to get in and do that deep healing as opposed to just kind of the surface issue.
Right, and obviously we're interested in the deep healing because that's what we enjoy. Yeah,
absolutely. So, are there some people that you mentioned that everybody can be hypnotized? Are there some people that are better candidates than others, or?
I'd say openness, willingness, eagerness, folks that are really wanting to shift. Sometimes people come in and they think it's the magic pill, and it's not. It's really up to them, but we give them every tool we possibly can. Eventually we don't want them to just rely on us. We want them to have the tools and things available so that they can shift themselves. We don't want to be doing this for everyone all the time. We want them to have that self-confidence. It defeats the purpose of self-confidence.
Yeah, it's about empowerment,
hey,
right?
You do this for me. No, you do it yourself, and I want to see how cool you are when you do it.
So this is really just about giving them a helping hand during that early stage when they need a little extra support, and the idea is that after a period of time, they're going to know how to do this work for themselves. They'll be on their own journey. They may want to come back for a little extra support from time to time, but fundamentally what you're trying to do is to empower them to create lasting and ongoing transformation, change in their life.
That's correct.
Yeah. Cool. When we come back, you're going to learn how you can use hypnotherapy to eliminate anger and create more positive relationships in every part of your life. You're listening to Love and Life on Independent Talk, 1100 KFNX.
Independent Talk, 1100 KFNX.
Welcome back to Love and Life on Independent Talk 1100 KFNX. As we come into this final segment of today's show, I want to remind you, our listeners, that whatever you're going through, you do not have to be alone. If you're ready to heal your core wounds and fill your life with unconditional love, there are thousands of people in the Real Love community here in Phoenix and worldwide who want to connect with you and support you. As you're hearing today, there are powerful tools that are available to help you make that transition. To learn more about Real Love, please visit our website at www.loveandliferadio.com, or to find out about activities going on in the Real Love community in the Phoenix area, go to www.meetup.com/Real Love. Now that you know about Real Love, you don't ever have to feel empty, afraid, and alone again. Our guests are Kyra and Todd Schaefer, who are active members of the Real Love community, as well as being professional hypnotherapists. I've got a few questions that I just want to ask to wrap up in this last segment here. The process, you were talking a little bit about that process. How long does it take for people to experience results?
It depends on the issue. Let's say there's a fear of flying, for example, but there's no traumatic incident of actually ever having any issue in an airplane. Phobias tend to be borrowed fears. It's like a mass fear. It's really not based on anything. It's like, for example, I know that, when I was a kid, people thought clowns were funny. And then somewhere along the line, the last 10, 15 years, it became popular to be afraid of clowns. Don't ask me where that came from, but a lot of phobias are kind of borrowed. So in other words, the shallower the fear, like a phobia is a surface level fear, usually the fewer sessions it takes to get through it.
Okay.
Like 1 to 3 sessions typically. The deeper it is, the more it's attached to, the longer term treatment is needed.
And as we were talking about before the break, sometimes a surface issue will roll into a deeper issue, which rolls into additional layers of that. And this is all about making progress in their lives. So it's something that people kind of embrace a pathway for transformation in their lives.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. So, can hypnotherapy be used in conjunction with other tools? You mentioned that you do use some coaching as a part of the sessions. How about with traditional psychotherapy or those kinds of things?
Yes, and we've actually worked in conjunction with psychotherapists. So if a client comes to us and they say we're under the care of a psychologist or psychiatrist, we want to connect with that doctor and make sure that we're on the same page with the therapy. We also make sure that we aren't doing anything that is going to be hindering their progress with their psychologist. So we have good relationships with psychologists, and we love getting feedback from them. And of course, the most important thing is the safety of our clients. And so we're in this thing together. And so it's a good collaboration there. Also, I've trained doctoral students that were going for psychotherapy, and they got a tremendous amount out of it, and they were able to kind of connect the dots between the traditional psychotherapy and psychoanalysts with the work that we're doing with hypnosis and the different types of cognitive therapy.
And I know, because I've done it myself, I've combined hypnosis with the life coaching, and so I know how the natural synergy that occurs there. It's very powerful. It's stronger to do the two together than either one alone.
I agree.
So what would you say to somebody who may be considering hypnotherapy as a way to start implementing real love? I'm thinking particularly of people that I encounter in the real love community who've come in and they're drawn to the love, and they're drawn to that support system, but they find themselves stuck, and they're not able to kind of make the progress. They keep falling back into, whether it's depression, whether it is issues related to relationship with men or with women or whatever. What would you say to somebody who's in that situation?
That they keep falling back into the same patterns? Yeah.
Yeah, or maybe they haven't been able to make the progress towards happiness that they had hoped or that other people have made in the same time frame.
Well, first, and I think Greg Baer even talks about it in, I know at least in the Real Love and Marriage book, he talks about, if you've done everything that you possibly can and you just can't seem to move past different things, it could be a chemical imbalance in the brain. So we always recommend people go see their medical doctor, go see their psychologist, that kind of thing. I think that's important, a good disclaimer, and healthier for them. For us, for what we do, I mean, we're the helpmates, we're the backup support, and if they continue to see themselves falling back into the same patterns, we want to take a look at where these patterns may have started. What has contributed to them as they've gone along? What habits and beliefs have they been allowing themselves to continue to perform, over and over? But basically, we practice unhappiness. We practice it so much that it becomes ingrained in us, and we have to start practicing happiness. And it's a different concept altogether. When we start practicing being kind instead of right, and choosing to let go of our ego in certain situations, and even though it's hard to say, start asking those hard questions of our loved ones, our partners, our friends, our coworkers, whoever is driving us crazy in that moment, and and start asking the good questions about, what is it that you're needing right now? That if you're in this place and you're full of fear and you're full of anger, it has nothing to do with me, and I'm going to love you more than I want to be in my behavior, and really connect with you and love you through this. And that is very, very hard to do. Well, when they come to us for hypnosis, we give them all of the support, and we give them the subconscious support so that they're naturally making the choice. You know what? It's okay for me to let go of my ego, and it's okay for me to look at that other person as a beautiful human being that deserves love and kindness. And I'm going to make that choice, and I'm going to make that choice more regularly. And so that can be a suggestion that we provide to people, too, during the hypnosis sessions.
That's awesome. So I know that at Arizona Hypnotherapy Clinic, not only do you provide hypnotherapy for clients, but you also have a training program there for other hypnotherapists, Kyra, and I believe you run that program. what would you say to somebody who may be a coach or maybe using some other modality of working with people who's wondering whether they should consider becoming a hypnotherapist?
I say, come on down. I say, give me a call. Let's talk about it. Let's get creative and figure out what's the best program for you. I mean, we do hypnosis training. We do NLP training, basic and master practitioner. We do conferences. And if somebody is already doing something that's already coaching and needs some practical marketing or sales advice, we'll help them with that. You know, I want this to be a world connection, not just oh, well, you know, I do this and you do that, and I don't think we should talk about it. You know, that's the downfall of major corporations. We see that, right?
Right.
So instead, I am a collaborative person. I believe in cooperation, not competition. So I want people to come to me and ask me those questions. I'm happy to answer them.
Awesome. So to summarize, it's ultimately the unconditional love that does the healing, but hypnotherapy can be very helpful in breaking through the resistance that keeps us stuck in our old patterns of belief and behaviors. There's a synergy that anyone can tap into to create rapid healing and change in their lives using the tool of hypnotherapy. If any of our listeners would like to learn more about using hypnotherapy in the ways that we've discussed today, what would they need to know? I'm thinking website, I'm thinking phone numbers, whatever.
Our website is www.arizonahypnotherapyclinic.com, all one word. There's a ton of resources there in the resource center. There's a blog. There's an event schedule with our different conferences and things. What else is on there? There's
free hypnosis training videos. Lots of stuff. Lots of free stuff. The phone number for our main office is 602-759-5776. The receptionist is there 9 to 5, and we're happy to see anybody who wants to give us a call.
I really want to tell our Real Love listeners that this is a tremendous resource. I know that you guys have never used Real Love as a forum to try to promote your business or anything of that nature, and I think there's a lot of people that may sit side by side with you in Real Love groups that don't even know what your profession is, because you've been very discreet about that. But I hope the people in the Real Love community will access this resource and use it, because I believe that it can really turbocharge the results that we achieve. So I want to thank you guys for being here, Kyra and Todd, so much. It's been fun having you here. I hope we can have you back sometime.
Oh, we'd love to come back.
Thank you.
I also want to thank the production team at KFNX, led by Robert Bombeck, and say a special thanks to our engineer today, Norm Briest, who always helps us sound good. I also want to thank our sponsors, and you guys, by the way, are new sponsors to the show. Thank you for that. I'm excited about that. I want to thank our listeners, the Love and Life listeners, for making this show possible. Be sure to tune in again next Sunday at 4 o'clock Arizona time for more Love and Life on Independent Talk, 1100 KFNX. And please, always remember to keep the love in your life. Bye for now.